The goal of the chapter app is to show how museums can use digital tools to address pressing political issues. In the case of our app, we show how the collections and objects of 3 European museums in London, Krakow, and Berlin can be combined with digital interactions in order to address the challenges posed by the rise of populism for European societies. The app was not created by the 3 museums, but by a group of researchers at universities in Berlin, Tübingen, Krakow, and London together with software developer Fluxguide from Vienna. Instead of providing a traditional digital guide, our app offers alternative tours through each museum. In this way, we want to show how museums can engage in pressing political issues, even if their current exhibitions do not focus on these topics. What you see here is our research team visiting Oskar Schindler's Enamel Factory in Krakow, a museum focusing on the Nazi occupation of Poland and the city of Krakow. The app works by asking users to select the museum they are visiting. From there, users are guided to choose one of several chapters. Each of the chapters leads users to an object or space within the exhibition and encourages them to interact with that object. In this case, we are in one of the most recognizable parts of the exhibition, where swastika flags are exhibited, and visitors are prompted to look at and take in the flags. On the app, visitors can then see an image how such flags hung in the streets of Poland and respond to questions about their feelings towards these flags. The app then continues by showing how people react on social media to these flags, before visitors are asked to play a quiz related to flags and national symbols. In the next step, the app explains how populist actors also use flags and symbols today to simplify complex realities and to create polarizing feelings of inclusion and exclusion. The chapter app specifically focuses on a target group of young visitors between 16 to 25 years, which is why we chose a style of language and types of interaction that are accessible and enjoyable for younger audiences, such as games and emojis. The app design also resembles familiar social media apps, making it user-friendly for our target audience. In many cases, the individual chapters connect to the everyday life of young visitors. In the example you see here, visitors are asked about their own experiences of witnessing harassment, for example bullying in school, and how they reacted to it. They can also see how other visitors before them answered these questions. From here, visitors are led to a display about bystanders during the Nazi occupation of Krakow and several tasks and texts that explain why people choose whether or not to intervene when they witness injustice. Ultimately, this chapter explains that populism often works through using threats and eliciting fear, pushing people into becoming bystanders that do not intervene even if they disagree with the injustice. Our second museum is the Museum of London, which closed in 2022 to prepare to open a new site in 2026. This prompted us to create chapters for the London app that could be completed outside the Museum of London at home, or, as you can see here, in classrooms or seminar rooms. While the other parts of the app work with material objects in museums, the London part focuses on objects from the museum's digital collection. One example is the chapter Sticking Enemies, which looks at stickers that were spread online and offline in London before they were collected by the museum. The chapter explains how stickers and posters are used by populists to promote Islamophobia. It asks users about their own feelings in relation to these stickers and images, to reflect on these feelings, and combines this with interactive tasks. Ultimately, the chapter shows how emotional forms of polarization are used by populists to separate people into essentialist groups, the good and pure people versus the bad and corrupt elite. The third testing ground for our app is the Berlin Global Exhibition, located in the Humboldt Forum. We picked this exhibition because it offers a broad array of topics associated with Berlin, urban life, migration, and German history, which offer many connections to issues of populist truth-making. The way we draw connections between museum objects and different aspects of populism is based on our ethnographic research with museum practitioners and museum visitors. This allowed us to better understand how populism works and how it affects museums. It also allowed us to assess the potential of museum objects for engaging in issues of populism. This means that the chapter app also demonstrates how qualitative and ethnographic research can contribute to the development of digital tools in museum contexts. What makes our app special is also that the final product is built on a process of co-design through a collaboration with young visitors. While the initial beta version of our app was designed by our researchers, software developers from FluxGuide provided us with a content management system that allowed us to change and update the content of the app at any time. Based on this infrastructure, we visited the museums with dozens of visitors, getting their feedback and engaging in critical reflection of the app. Together with the young visitors, we implemented lots of changes, from small word changes to large ones.
Wir haben ganz viel mit den Formulierungen gearbeitet und das ein bisschen umformuliert, ein paar Ausdrücke einfach geändert.
Wir haben so ein bisschen überlegt, wen sprechen wir eigentlich mit der App an und wen holen wir mit welcher Sprache ab. Und
ja, das ist auch die erste größere Veränderung, die wir gemacht haben, weil da war ja ganz am Anfang.
In the Berlin chapters of the app, some of the participating students developed their own ideas for chapters from scratch, one of which found its way into the final version of the app. The chapter Music is My First Love shows how populist figures might use popular music. Music that celebrates populist themes and mobilizes emotional experiences of belonging, which simultaneously can foster discriminatory stereotypes and the exclusion of anyone who does not belong to what populists consider the people.
Das heißt, vielleicht wussten wir es einfach nicht.
The app is freely available for smartphones and tablets via Apple's App Store and the Google Play Store. If you want to learn more about our team and our work, visit projectchapter.eu.